Everyone, we are back from our Virginia trip. We are done with the intensives. Yay! And we took a couple days on the back end to go to Virginia Beach. Anyways, I wanted to go ahead and do a quick demonstration with my husband because he was also in class with me. So I thought it would be fun to just give you a quick little demonstration of what to expect for the counseling videos that you guys will be doing every night with your intensives. So you guys, I wanted to show you something really quick. When you're sitting down as the counselor, you want to sit in a solar position. So I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera around so you can see my husband do it. So the acronym is SOLAR. So the S is for sitting square. The O is for being open. There you go. And you don't have to have your hands like that, but just as long as they're not like clenched up or together. Yeah. L is for leaning into your client, listening. E is for eye contact. And R is for relaxed. So just remember that when you're doing your videos and you're good to go.
Afternoon, Karen. What brings you in here today?
Well, I'm having a really hard time losing weight, and I don't know, it's just really hard for me.
I'm hearing you say that you've had a hard time losing weight recently, and that it seems to be giving you a lot of stress.
Yeah, I am pretty stressed out. I feel pretty discouraged too because I've tried so many different meal plans and workout programs and gyms, and nothing seems to work, and I don't know, I'm just tired.
I'm hearing that discouragement is really kind of getting to you, of trying one thing after another and not accomplishing the goal that you've set for yourself.
Yeah, it's really frustrating, you know, because it's not just time that I'm wasting, but I'm also wasting money. These programs and these trainers and all of this is a lot of money, and it's just really frustrating because I feel like I am not seeing the results that I want to see.
That time and that energy seems like it's really valuable to you, that the investment hasn't produced what you wanted it to produce.
Yeah, it really is. When it comes down to it, time is the most important thing to me. I want to lose weight, I want to be healthier, but I also want to do it as quick as possible. And I know everybody wants to do it, you know, overnight, but I really do want to do it as quick as possible so I can be healthy for not just myself, but my family too.
It sounds like that time frame that you put for yourself is really important to you, that maybe you've been seeking to do this in a certain amount of time, but then you're past that time frame, so it really causes that worry or that stress.
Yeah, it really has been stressing me out because I put a time frame of 3 months to lose a certain amount of weight, and then I lose the weight, and then I hear from my trainer that, oh, it's muscle and that's why I've gone back up on the scale. But I guess it doesn't really matter what the scale says. I just want to be able to fit into the clothes that I have in my closet. I want to look nice and presentable, not just for myself, but for all of those around me and for my husband too.
I'm hearing there's a sense of frustration with not being able to meet those goals, and then also with your trainer. I noticed there a moment ago you kind of gave that an expression of maybe disgust or potentially just something that there was something wrong there that you had visually with that trainer, the way that you were expressing that.
Yeah, you know, I don't know if it's just me taking my frustration out on him, but I really feel like he's wasting my time and he's wasting my money. But at the same time, I don't want to fire him because I've worked with him for so long. I can at least, I mean, he's at least got me into the groove of going to the gym. So I'm just kind of waiting, and I guess if I fire him or I leave our contract, I'm afraid that I might be missing out on something that could be my breakthrough that I haven't seen yet.
Yeah, I'm sensing there's that inner conflict of whether I should keep the trainer or I should fire him, like you were mentioning, and that there's that difficulty because maybe there's been some good things of setting a program that's worked for you in a little bit. There's been some habits that you've acquired, maybe some things that you've learned from this trainer, and there's that expectancy that something is going to change. And then on the other hand, that it may be a little bit easier to let him go and to pursue a different track.
Yeah.
There's just a conflict there.
Yeah, I've never been one to take the easy way. So to me, just firing him or moving on from the contract that we have, in a sense, it feels like quitting.
It seems like that's important to you.
Yeah, it is really important to not give up, and I guess I'm kind of wondering if I would be better off without my trainer and just doing it myself, or maybe even picking a new trainer. But then I'm like, oh my gosh, what if I have to do this all over again and I don't get the results? I just don't know what to do.
Sounds like there's a couple options there.
Yeah, there definitely is, and there's money involved with each option, because even if I do it myself, I'm going to be investing time, which is more precious than money.
Really does go back to that time.
Yes, time, man. It really is interesting, because after I gave birth to my son, I gave myself a time limit of 1.5 years to lose the baby weight. And then surprisingly, I lost it after 3 months. And I was expecting it to come back or whatnot. And then when it didn't for over 1 year, I was really happy. But at the same time, I'm at my pre-baby weight and I haven't moved. And the goal was for me to, hit that pre-baby weight and then continue to lose the weight. And I can't lose the weight. I can't move past my pre-baby weight.
I'm hearing that there's a bit of discouragement from not being able to go lose past the baby weight, and then also just that frustration of a time and again, one attempt after another.
Yeah, it's been nonstop. After that year point, it really hit me like, wow, I really need to start losing the pre-baby weight. And here I am about to hit the year mark, because my son's going to be 2 years old. And I haven't moved on the scale at all, and I still don't fit into the clothes that I want to fit into. So I'm just like, gosh, the year just went by so fast, and just time wasted, you know.
You mentioned there that it felt like there was some time wasted with the last year. And in that year, it sounds like there's been that consistency that's brought you some frustration, the consistency of the trainer and all the things that you've been doing, and still waiting on that breakthrough. And
I guess for my future sessions, what I want to do is just really explore how I can enjoy the journey of becoming healthier without having that sense of urgency for time. Learning to just enjoy myself in the present moment and not think of things as a waste of time, but just to enjoy myself right now, because I am healthier. I do feel myself healthier. And I have learned some healthy habits, but yeah, I would really like to talk about that in the future.
Definitely. I'm noticing that as you were talking about that, there's seems to be a little bit of relaxed as you're talking about being healthier and enjoying the journey rather than focusing on one moment and one moment or a period of time that's brought you some frustration.
Yeah, and you know, I will go in and out of that throughout the day or throughout the weeks, where I will be super frustrated and really annoyed and feel like time is wasted. But then there are moments where I'll catch myself and I'm eating a salad for lunch and I'm full, or I catch myself having my water intake at the 100, what is that, ounces? Yeah, 100 ounces a day. And I'm like, hey, wait a minute, this is progress. Like, I've never done this before. So I do catch myself there, but it's really hard to like get myself to that place. And I would like to know how to bring myself into a more present state of awareness where I can enjoy being in the moment.
I'm hearing you say that there's that progress and that journey, that as we continue down that journey together, that we may be able to discuss some things of allowing you to celebrate those victories, and being in the mindset that that there is a step-by-step process that we can come alongside and discuss in future sessions.
Yeah, I would like that.
Okay, well, great. It's great seeing you today, Karen.
So this is my husband, and for this demonstration, he will be the counselor and I will be the client.
Good afternoon, Karen. I'm so glad to see you here today. Just wanted to follow up with our last session. And what brings you here today?
Well, I am having a really difficult time with moving to Japan. I'm really, really nervous about this move.
It sounds like that's definitely a big move for you. For what I'm hearing from you is that there's a little bit of sense of nervousness for the unexpected changes of going to Japan.
Yeah, it's definitely unexpected, and a part of me is just really, really sad. I'm just really, really sad to move because I really like where I live. Yeah, so I've just been finding myself crying at random points. It's just a really sad situation, I guess.
Wow, Karen, I noticed that you're saying that it's sad to move, but then at the same time, you're laughing. There seems to be a little bit of a difference. On one hand, that maybe you're excited, or maybe there's something behind that sadness that's coming out in laughter.
Yeah, I guess I do use my laughing and my smiles as a way to just conceal the feelings that I'm dealing with. I guess it's kind of like a coping mechanism because I don't really like to cry in front of other people or let those emotions out. And I just don't want to just cry in front of people. That would be so embarrassing.
I'm hearing that there's a lot of deep felt emotions that you're feeling, and that the way that you've been expressing them maybe in the past and even right now is through that laughter. That there seems to be a sense that it's hard to cry, especially in front of others, when maybe that hasn't happened in the past.
Yeah, it's definitely a foreign concept to me. I don't like to cry in front of people. I guess I can't even recall the last time I cried in front of anyone. Just the idea of it. I don't really like the idea of crying in front of people. It just makes me feel really uncomfortable.
I'm noticing as you're talking about crying in front of others that you have your hands together, that it's really causing you some frustration.
Well, I would say it's more of just like a nervousness, just the thought of being vulnerable in front of people that I don't know is just not a comforting thing. I think it would be like, I guess the emotion I'm feeling, I think is just, I don't really know the words to it, just foreign. I think I feel foreign.
That it's foreign to cry in front of others?
Yeah. It's really a foreign feeling, and it's not something I'm really comfortable with. I don't like crying in front of people, and I'd rather just laugh. And when people ask me if I'm doing okay, I'll tell them yeah. But then I find myself alone, crying, and just, I don't know. Or when people try to give me a hug, I'll actually just reach over and give them like a little tap hug because I don't want it to linger. Because if it lingers too long, then I'll cry, and that's just not what I want to do.
I'm hearing that those interactions of that close contact and maybe going to that place of actually crying in front of others causes some discomfort for you. So instead, you laugh.
Yes, yeah. The laughing really does help me out. It's just, I don't know, just the thought of crying in front of people, I guess I feel like they would view me weaker then. like I can't be in control of my emotions. I guess I don't want them to think that I'm not in control of my emotions. I want people to respect me for who I am.
I'm hearing that crying in front of others translates to not feeling comfortable to do so in front of others, but also that there's a sense that maybe people won't respect you if you cry in front of them.
Yeah, I really do value, I guess you could say, what others think of me, even though I like to say I don't care what other people think of me. It does take a root in me. I guess I do care what other people think of me. I do like the idea of being able to express my emotions to people in a safe place where they can tell me everything's going to be okay or comfort me in some way, but just the fear of them using that information against me is just not a risk I'm willing to take.
I'm hearing that from today's session, that today we've discussed things like the emotion of crying in front of others is a difficult emotion to handle.
Yeah.
And that translates to perhaps not having others respect you, that it comes across as that way from your previous interactions with others, and that's a difficult emotion to navigate. Is this something that you'd like to continue in future sessions to talk about?
Definitely.
Okay, excellent. I'm so glad that you trusted me with that information, Karen, and it was great seeing you today.
It was great seeing you too. Hi, Lance. It's so good to see you again. What brings you in?
I have a lot of stress, a lot of stuff that's going on in my mind. There's this degree program that I'm in, and I'm studying quite a bit, but then there's this unexpected change that's happened recently. I found out that I'm moving very soon, and it's overseas. So with the amount of work that's going on at work, and then schoolwork, and then the move itself, I'm just really, it really kind of just doesn't sit very well with me.
Okay, I'm hearing you say there's a lot of new changes that are occurring and some expectations that are not being met as well, that are bringing a unsettling feeling. Tell me more about that.
You mentioned those expectations. I think that I tend to put more on my plate, and I have higher expectations for myself than maybe even other people have for me. And that doesn't necessarily work very well for what's going on right now when I need to really distribute my efforts. It just, man, it's kind of giving me a headache as we're talking about it.
So I'm hearing that you have expectations for yourself. You've noticed that they are high, and right now at the moment you're not able to meet your own expectations, and it's causing you some stress.
Yeah. And I think that's maybe an understatement too, because it's actually affected me, you know, when I'm sleeping at night, I'll be tossing and turning. I kind of get pits in my stomach, and it just does not feel good.
So on a scale 1 to 10, with 1 being the most relaxed you've ever been in your life, and 10 being the absolute most stressed you've ever been in your life, the current changes that you're experiencing, where would you place that on that scale?
I'd say I'm at about an 8.
Okay.
I'd say, yeah, maybe a 7, 8. No, I'd say 8.
Okay. Tell me more about that. Why an 8?
Well, I feel like that I can't get everything done the way that I want to get it done. Doing well with my schoolwork, and doing well and with work, distributing my energy with home with the family. They all seem to really compete, and I'll focus on one, and then I feel like the other one's, you know, getting away from me. So it's just like trying to balance.
It sounds like it's important to you to distribute your time and your energy in every single area appropriately, that you have expectations not just for school and for work, but also for your family and other areas in your life.
Yeah, that's right.
Help me understand that.
Yeah, you know, I said, you know, when it comes to schoolwork, before I would get my schoolwork done before it was due, but I find myself the night of, or maybe even a couple nights before getting the work done. Whereas before I'd have it done a week in advance, and it really bothers me that, I feel like I'm going to miss that deadline. And so.
It sounds with the recent changes with the move and your program that you're in for school, it has caused you to move and shift some areas in your life that you would normally not do, as far as getting things done ahead of schedule, and it's causing some anxiety.
Yeah, it just you said some anxiety, and I think that's probably what it is when your thoughts race pretty quickly, or just sometimes forgetting to eat, right? And I love to eat, so to forget to eat for me is kind of a big one. It shows me, and I think that's why I'm here, that there's something there.
Okay. In our future sessions, I would like to talk about how we can distribute your time through all the areas that are most important to you, and how we can shift these expectations to make them into a realistic goal for yourself, so that you're not experiencing the anxiety and stress that you currently are.
So that sounds like a great idea. Thank you.
Perfect. Oh, Lance, it's so good to see you again. What brings you in?
I have a lot of stress, a lot of stuff that's going on in my mind. There's this degree program that I'm in, and I'm studying quite a bit, but then there's this unexpected change that's happened recently. I found out that I'm moving very soon, and it's overseas. So with the amount of work that's going on at work, and then schoolwork, and then the move itself, it really kind of just doesn't sit very well with me.
Okay, I'm hearing you say there's a lot of new changes that are occurring, and some expectations that are not being met as well, that are bringing a unsettling feeling. Tell me more about that.
You mentioned those expectations. I think that I tend to put more on my plate, and I have higher expectations for myself than maybe even other people have for me. And that doesn't necessarily work very well for what's going on right now, when I need to really distribute my efforts. It's kind of giving me a headache as we're talking about it.
So I'm hearing that you have expectations for yourself. You've noticed that they are high, and right now at the moment you're not able to meet your own expectations, and it's causing you some stress.
Yeah. And I think that's maybe an understatement too, because it's actually affected me, when I'm sleeping at night, I'll be tossing and turning. I kind of get pits in my stomach, and it just does not feel good.
So on a scale 1 to 10, with 1 being the most relaxed you've ever been in your life, and 10 being the absolute most stressed you've ever been in your life, the current changes that you're experiencing, where would you place that on that scale?
I'd say I'm at about an 8.
Okay.
I'd say, maybe a 7, 8. No, I'd say 8.
Okay. Tell me more about that. Why an 8?
Well, I feel like that I can't get everything done the way that I want to get it done. Doing well with my schoolwork, and doing well and with work, distributing my energy with home with the family. They all seem to really compete, and I'll focus on one, and then I feel like the other one's getting away from me. So it's just like trying to balance.
It sounds like it's important to you to distribute your time and your energy in every single area appropriately, that you have expectations not just for school and for work, but also for your family and other areas in your life.
Yeah, that's right.
Help me understand that.
Yeah, I said, when it comes to schoolwork, before I would get my schoolwork done before it was due, but I find myself the night of, or maybe even a couple nights before, getting the work done. Whereas before I'd have it done a week in advance, and it really bothers me that, I feel like I'm going to miss that deadline. And so.
It sounds with the recent changes with the move and your program that you're in for school, it has caused you to move and shift some areas in your life that you would normally not do as far as getting things done ahead of schedule, and it's causing some anxiety.
Yeah, it just, you said some anxiety, and I think that's probably what it is, you know, your thoughts race pretty quickly, or just sometimes forgetting to eat, right? And I love to eat, so to forget to eat for me is kind of a big one. It shows me, and I think that's why I'm here, that there's something there.
Okay. In our future sessions, I would like to talk about how we can distribute your time through all the areas that are most important to you, and how we can shift these expectations to make them into a realistic goal for yourself, so that you're not experiencing the anxiety and stress that you currently are.
So that sounds like a great idea. Thank you.
Perfect. Got an issue?
You got a tissue.
Hi Lance, it's so nice to see you again. What brings you in today?
Just so much. There's so much on my plate right now. There's a big move coming up, but I'm actually really concerned about my master's program. There's a lot of homework. There's a lot more than I expected. Not that I can't handle it, but it does bring a sense of worry that I'm even going to be able to finish in the allotted time period, because I am moving, after all, overseas here for a few years.
Okay. I hear that you're worried about completing this master's program, especially because of the move that's coming here soon. Tell me more about the worry that you're experiencing.
That worry sits in my stomach. It's like a knot in my stomach. It's just really bothersome. I'm up thinking about it sometimes, and just late at night, and it's hard for me to really focus when I need to.
Okay. I'm hearing that it's hard to focus because of the worry that you're experiencing due to the master's program. Help me understand what you're feeling as you're talking about this right now.
I feel kind of sick to my stomach, actually. It sits kind of just, you know, it just gives me a sense of uneasiness.
So I'm hearing that you're feeling uneasy.
Yeah, it is. It's an uneasiness of finishing something that I start and doing the best at what I've started. I really want to do the best that I can. That's something that I've grown up knowing, is that, you know, you do the best that you can, and that you work hard, and that you'll accomplish the goal that you set in front of you. And this one, based on everything that's going on, it's hard because I want to meet the deadlines and the time frames, but there's so many questions, and it just makes me sick to my stomach.
I'm hearing that this uncertainty that's coming with all the moving parts and with your master's program is bringing a sense of worry to you, but also a sense of wanting to get it done right, and get it done right maybe the first time, because that's something that's familiar to you.
Oh yeah, I want to be able to do everything on the first time and be able to do things early. So that's kind of where I feel a little uneasy, is because I'm used to getting things done early and on time meaning early, and this one I'm probably going to have to extend the program longer than norm.
Okay. So I'm hearing that these feelings of uncertainty maybe are also bringing some feelings of frustration, as you're having to push outside of the norm and do something that you don't typically do.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So, you know, one of the things that I wanted to just kind of talk to you about as we continue this is being able to manage some of those emotions, and just not to have that pit in my stomach anymore.
Okay. Yeah, I would love to discuss that in our next session, and dig deeper into that, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that would be great.
All right, perfect.
All right, thank you. We did it!
Yay! So the main thing, you guys, I think the hardest thing about, because we didn't talk about what we were going to discuss about the issues, is that nervousness about getting stuck. But in this program, your partner in crime in your group is supposed to help you out. So you guys are supposed to be there for each other and not give each other like super hard issues like childhood trauma or anything like that. Just, I wouldn't say like surface level issues, but issues that are easier to talk about. The hardest thing is, well, for me, I don't know, I'll let you say what it was for you, is having to fight the urge to not ask questions, but doing it in the form of, help me understand. Tell me more about that. I'm hearing you say, and then allowing that silence so that the client can go ahead and speak. So.
Yeah, what was really significant for me is learning how to paraphrase. Like my wife was just talking about, is that rephrasing of what someone has said to reflect the feelings and the meaning of what they're actually saying, even despite what their facial expressions are proving. It's really powerful to see that as we give people the opportunity to speak, there's that healing power where God can use us as a vessel to be able to reach folks. So such an awesome program and an experience altogether. Very valuable, and I'm so glad that I got to tag team with my wife.
Yeah, and just to piggyback off of what he said, it really is incredible how much you can learn from someone when you just are there to listen and you're not asking questions off of your own agenda. That's something that I learned through the program, is eliminating the unnecessary questions. Like during this interaction, normally the norm for me would be to ask the client, oh, what degree program are you going into? Or asking specifics about the move, but that's not what counseling is all about. What does it matter what the degree program is if he's having those feelings? And so for me, the main thing that I got out of it was staying on track with what the client is feeling and staying on that track instead of going off on my own agenda, trying to understand things that I don't really need to understand, if that makes sense. I don't know.
I really do think it's helped us both grow as individuals and then also as a couple. It's allowed the ability to be vulnerable with one another and reach down deep and express some of those emotions and kind of digest some of those things in a much more manageable and healthy way. So what you've seen here today is just a sampling of some of the skills that we've learned to apply, and then the scenarios, just kind of made up scenarios, if you will, so that you could get an example of some of the things that you may want to talk about or kind of piggyback off on a spin in your own lives. So.
Yep. All right, so if you guys have any questions, I hope this sample was beneficial to you. I don't really know how long it was. We were targeting just a quick 5-minute video, and believe it or not, it does get easier. As the class goes on throughout the week, you'll notice that you're having to crunch for time. At least that's how it was for me. Like, oh, we only have 15 minutes. So yeah, we just wanted to give you just a little sample, and you'll learn everything that you need to learn to do it the right way.
That's right.
And when you're done with the intensive, come back to the class and pick out all the things we did wrong right now.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Just leave a comment. Tell us what we could have done better.
Or any of the techniques that you recognize. All right, you guys. We are praying for each and every single one of you on the other side of that screen. And in fact, let's pray for them right now.
All right. Lord, I thank you so much for this opportunity to just give people an example of what it is that this program offers, and the ability that you can use each and every person that is listening to this recording on the other side of the screen, and that you're going to use them, Lord. We thank you for our ability to pray for them, and we speak your life, that life of abundance that you desire to give each and every person with a relationship with you. And I ask these things in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. And please reach out to me if you have any questions. We'd love to hear from you guys, either on here, YouTube, or on my Instagram. I'll leave everything in the description below. All right, you guys, have a wonderful day or weekend.
God bless.
Bye. Hi, Lance. It's so good to see you again today. What brings you in?
Well, I just got a lot on my mind.
Ow! Alright. Okay. Ready?
So, yeah. It's
You have to start over, sorry.
You gonna laugh at me there again?
No, I started spacing out. Like this brings you in.
I'll bring you in.
Are you married by any chance? Because you are smoking.
Girl!
Help me understand what a hottie like you is doing
Ooh, girl.
in this profession.
Get over here.
Close. Too close. Too close. Oh, and when you meet the front desk lady for the bill, you can actually just give me a kiss. The limits of confidentiality state that...
Honey.
We're done.